On my way home from school, I saw my childhood best friend Li Lingling being bullied by the school bully and his gang. I turned and took another path home, all because I had been reborn. In my previous life, on this very day, I saw Li Lingling being beaten up by Wang Jieqi, the school bully, and her lackeys on my way home from school. Without thinking, I rushed forward, pushed Wang Jieqi down, and shielded Li Lingling behind me. But then Li Lingling said to Wang Jieqi, "It was her. Lu Xiaoxiao made me deliver the water for her." It turned out that Li Lingling had been delivering water to the boy Wang Jieqi liked at the basketball court, and that was why she got beaten up after Wang Jieqi found out. Then because as soon as I arrived, I pushed Wang Jieqi first, and without waiting for me to explain, they started hitting me. Before I could finish saying, "It wasn't me," I was kicked to the ground, and then beaten by a group of people. I curled up on the ground, covering my head, letting them hit me without fighting back at all. It wasn't until they got tired that they finally left, cursing and swearing. After everyone had left, Li Lingling ran over to me crying and said, "Xiaoxiao, I'm sorry. I was just too scared to say that, otherwise they would have beaten me to death. I'm not like you, with parents by your side. I have nothing. Xiaoxiao, you're the best to me. You won't blame me, right?" At that moment, I felt particularly sad. Li Lingling's father was a gambler who owed a lot of money, and her mother couldn't take it anymore and ran away with his younger brother. Later, her father also abandoned her and her elderly grandfather to escape his debts. We grew up together, and I knew her situation, so I always thought of her when it came to food or necessities. I never expected her to treat me like this at such a critical moment. I didn't say anything, enduring the pain in my body as I slowly walked home. But I never imagined this would be the beginning of my nightmare. Because of this incident, I earned the hatred of the school bully Wang Jieqi, and from then on, being bullied at school became a regular occurrence. When Li Lingling is in front of me, she always puts on a pitiful act, pretending to be helpless and forced into situations. Behind my back, I've seen her laughing at me with other classmates, mocking me for being foolish enough to offend Wang Jieqi. Then she goes out of her way to flatter Wang Jieqi, becoming her lackey and joining them in bullying me. Afterward, she comes crying to me, begging for forgiveness and claiming she was forced into it all. They poured water on me, tore my clothes, burned me with cigarette butts, and threw dead mice into my desk. It led me to develop depression, and ultimately, I jumped from the school rooftop, ending my precious life. Given another chance, I won't repeat the same mistakes. I will respect others' destinies and stay away from toxic influences. "Mom, I'm home," I said upon arriving. Seeing my mother busy in the kitchen, I suppressed the urge to cry and ran over to hug her. I couldn't imagine how heartbroken my parents must have been after my death in my previous life. Mom has a weak heart. In my past life, after being bullied at school, I was too afraid to worry my parents and didn't dare say anything when I got home. Gradually, I became terrified of going to school and wanted to transfer. To escape, Li Lingling knew I was afraid of worrying my mom, so she always came over to walk me to school, her tone laced with threats. If I didn't go, she'd tell my mom, "What's wrong? Did you get into trouble at school again?" My mom tapped my nose affectionately, her voice tinged with helplessness. In the past, whenever I got into trouble outside, I'd come home and act sweetly obedient to my parents. After the incident, I'd whine a little, admit my mistake, and avoid getting scolded. "I really didn't do anything today. I just missed you, Mom." "Really nothing. Let me tell you, Xiaoxiao, girls shouldn't always get into trouble. You know, be careful or your dad might spank you, and I won't stop him." "Oh, Mom, really nothing happened. I just haven't seen you all day and missed you." "What delicious food did you make today?" "I'm starving." All right. I made your favorite braised prawns today. Dad will be home soon, so go wash your hands. I just have one more dish to finish, and then we can eat." "Honey, I'm home," Dad said as he walked in through the door. "Daddy, oh, Xiaoxiao is back too. Why are you home so early today?" "Can I come home early for no reason?" All right. You two hurry up and wash your hands for dinner. The dishes are ready." At this moment, who could understand that this lively family scene feels like a lifetime ago to me? "Here, Xiaoxiao. This is specially made for you by Mom. You should eat more," Mom said as soon as I sat down, placing a large shrimp in my bowl. Then she gently added, "Don't worry, there's more in the pot." Leaving food in the pot was because whenever I ate something delicious, I would save a little for Li Lingling. Later, my mom would always cook extra. After I finished eating, I would take some to Li Lingling, who knew this would end up raising such an ungrateful person. "Mom, no need to save food anymore. Let's eat more ourselves." "What's wrong? Did you have a fight with Lingling?" Dad asked curiously. "No, Dad. It's just that Lingling has grown up now. She has her own life, and if I keep bringing her food, she might feel a bit embarrassed, and I heard that her father might come back soon to take her away. In my past life, on the day I jumped off the building, Li Lingling told me her father was coming to take her to another city. She proudly came up to me and said, I'm going to live a good life with my dad in another city, Lu Xiaoxiao. You'll stay here forever and let Wang Jieqi and her friends trample you into the dirt, Dad asked doubtfully. Really? How come I haven't heard about this? Mom sighed. With Oldley being like that, even if he came back, he'd probably sneak in quietly. How could everyone know? Let's not talk about them anymore. Here, Mom and Dad, you should eat too. You've worked hard, I said as I picked up a shrimp for each of them. Since when did our daughter become so thoughtful? Dad asked curiously. Isn't it good that she's sensible, saves you from complaining about her being naughty every day, Mom said, giving Dad a sidelong glance. Come on, sweetheart, eat up, have more, all this is for you. It was truly blissful for the family to have meals together chatting and laughing like this. The next morning, I didn't plan to wait for Li Lingling and went to school by myself. Who knew she was already waiting downstairs at my house when I stepped out? Li Lingling saw me coming out and came up to ask. Xiaoxiao, why didn't I see you after school yesterday? As she spoke, she deliberately or inadvertently revealed the wounds beneath her sleeve. I had something to do yesterday, so I came back by myself. Pretending not to notice, I continued walking forward. Xiaoxiao, Li Lingling saw that I didn't stop at all, looking as if she wanted to say something but hesitated. In the past, if I had seen bruises on her, I would have immediately asked her what happened. We're going to be late, I said, and without another glance at her, I walked away. Although we both attended County No. 1 high school, I was in class 1 of the 3rd year while Li Lingling was in class 3, so I didn't see her all morning. Ding ling ling, I've been absent-mindedly reminiscing about my past life all morning, and before I knew it, it was already noon. Life in senior year of high school is always rushed. As soon as the bell rings, everyone hurries out of the classroom. Feeling a bit hungry myself, I packed up my books and headed to the cafeteria. Lu Xiaoxiao, stop right there. As I walked past the flower bed at the corner of the teaching building, Wang Jieqi and her lackeys stopped me. What's going on? I didn't even help Li Lingling this time. Why are they targeting me again? If I get another chance, I definitely won't let it slide like this. I just haven't had time to think about how to settle the score from my past life yet. Let's see what this is about first. What's wrong? Is something the matter? I glanced around and noticed Li Lingling wasn't among them. Wang Jieqi said with an angry expression, let me ask you, why did you give Linya water yesterday? Me, how did this issue land on me again? With a confused look, I replied, I didn't bring water to Linya yesterday. Still denying it. Your bestie Li Lingling already said that during Class 3's basketball game yesterday, you asked her to deliver water to Linya for you. Li Lingling, even though I didn't show up yesterday, she still managed to pin the blame on me. Seeing Wang Jieqi and her gang's arrogant expressions, the hatred in my heart was almost unbearable. I couldn't help but snap back at her. Then tell me, why would I have Li Lingling deliver water to Linya for me without any reason? A girl next to Wang Jieqi said. Of course it's because you like Linyao. Let me tell you, Linyao is someone our Jieqi sister has her eyes on. How dare you even think about him? Hurry up and apologize to our Jieqi sister, then get lost, otherwise, you'll regret it. Suppressing the anger in my heart, I pretended to be surprised and said, oh my goodness, I really didn't send any water to Linyao, who said I liked him. I do have a boyfriend. It's just not public yet. You can't spread rumors about this. It wouldn't be good if he misunderstood. Wang Jieqi frowned and said, don't think I'll believe your nonsense just because you deny it. Dare to tell me who your boyfriend is. Just then, I noticed a figure appearing in the distance. A thought crossed my mind, and I said, why wouldn't I dare? It's Wang Yang. Wang Yang was the class monitor of Class 2, Grade 12, in my previous life, during those dark days when I was bullied. He was the only one who ever stepped forward to help me, but not long after, he disappeared. Rumor had it he transferred schools. One of Wang Jieqi's lackeys said disdainfully, how can you prove what you're saying is true? Fine, I didn't want to make this public originally, but forget it. To avoid letting this misunderstanding escalate, I'll go talk to him. With that, I walked toward Wang Yang in the distance. With a nervous heart but a friendly demeanor, I approached Wang Yang and softly called out. Classmate Wang Yang. He looked at me puzzled and asked, classmate, is there something you need? I'm Lu Xiaoxiao from Class 1. Could I ask you for a favor? I know you. What's the matter? I was somewhat surprised, but after glancing at Wang Jieqi and the others in the distance, I reluctantly said, Wang Jieqi misunderstood that I like the person she's interested in, which is a bit troublesome, so, could you pretend to be my boyfriend? Wang Yang glanced at the group of people in the distance, frowned slightly, and said, sure, but you'll have to do me a favor too. Okay, what favor? Scratching his head, he said somewhat sheepishly, I'm struggling a bit with English. Could you help me with it? I was a bit surprised. I hadn't expected him to make such a request. Isn't he the class monitor of Class 2? From what I know, his grades are pretty good. Actually, in my past life, I didn't pay much attention to him either, we only crossed paths occasionally during some school activities. He wasn't the type of guy who's strikingly handsome, but overall, he gave off a clean, sunny, and comfortable vibe. My impression of him was from that day when Wang Jiechi and her gang cornered me in the alley next to the school and started beating me. He happened to pass by and said to them, "The patrolling police are heading this way, do you really want to continue?" Then Wang Jiechi gave him a disdainful look, "Mind your own fucking business, trash," flipping him off as she was pulled away by her lackeys. After they left, Wang Yang looked at my disheveled state, took off his school uniform jacket, and draped it over my shoulders. He walked me all the way to my apartment building without saying a word the entire time. I was grateful to him, but later he stopped coming to school. I heard he transferred. Seeing that I hadn't responded for a while, he quickly added, "Don't worry, I won't take up too much of your time. Just help me catch up when you're free. If you're not, forget it." I saw Wang Jiechi and the others walking towards us, so I said, "All right, I agree, can I hold your hand now?" But Wang Yang said, "Let me hold yours." "Okay, let's go, we're heading to the cafeteria." Then Wang Yang held my hand as we walked past Wang Jiechi and the others, and I even gestured toward our clasped hands to them. In the afternoon after school, I didn't go looking for Li Lingling, wanting to head home by myself first. Unexpectedly, she came looking for me and, upon seeing me, questioned me in a doubtful tone. "Xiaoxiao, I heard you're together with Wang Yang. When did this happen? How come I, as your best friend, didn't know about it?" I glanced at the bruise at the corner of her mouth and said mockingly, "Best friend, is this how you treat your so-called best friend, by stabbing them in the back? Well, sorry, but I'm not worthy of such a best friend." Hearing my words, Li Lingling paled, her tears nearly falling as she anxiously explained, "Xiaoxiao, I'm sorry. I was just too scared at that time, that's why I said those things. I really didn't mean it. Xiaoxiao, you're so kind, you'll forgive me, right?" These words again. In my past life, it was these very words that made me forgive her time and again, help her, and ultimately led to that tragic end. "Li Lingling, I won't forgive you anymore. Don't come looking for me again." After saying that, I turned to leave, but Li Lingling panicked. She quickly grabbed my hand, tears streaming down her face. "Xiaoxiao, you don't know how terrifying Wang Jiechi is. They all bully me. Look at all the bruises on my body." As she spoke, she lifted her clothes to show me the injuries. In the past, seeing those blue and purple bruises on her would have broken my heart, and I would have forgiven her unconditionally. Unfortunately, such wounds are nothing compared to what I endured in my past life. The fire in my heart flared up instantly. "Wang Jiechi and her gang are scary, so you push me out to take the fall. Is that it? Li Lingling, doesn't your conscience hurt?" "Xiaoxiao, it's not like that. Listen to me. I thought since you have your parents to protect you, they wouldn't do anything to you. I'm not like you. I have nothing. They would beat me to death. So Xiaoxiao, you'll understand me, right? That's enough, Li Lingling. Our friendship is over. You're on your own now." With those words, I ignored Li Lingling, who was covering her face and crying, and walked away without looking back. My feelings toward Li Lingling are actually quite complicated. The bond of growing up together as best friends was real, and we shared many beautiful memories since childhood. Unfortunately, everything changed at some point, though I don't know exactly when. Thinking about my past life experiences, I hated her so much it made my teeth ache, but having been reborn, I don't want to waste all my time and energy on these things anymore. There are only 2 months left until the college entrance exam. I need to prepare diligently for it. Only by getting into a good university and taking good care of my parents in the future can I make up for the regrets of my past life and make this second chance worthwhile. As for Li Lingling here, as long as she doesn't provoke me again, I plan to ignore her and let her fend for herself. As for Wang Jiechi, I intend to get revenge. But I still need to prepare a few more things to deliver a fatal blow when the time comes. The next day, I saw Wang Yang at the school gate holding a bag of breakfast, seemingly waiting for someone. Wang Yang looked up and saw it was me. "You're here, here you go," he said, handing me the breakfast he was holding. I was somewhat surprised. "This is for me." With a serious expression, he said, "What? Isn't it normal to bring breakfast for your girlfriend?" I thought to myself that since I was the one who asked him to pretend to be my boyfriend, I should be the one buying him breakfast. How could I possibly let him bring me food? Feeling somewhat awkward, I said, "Thank you, but you really don't have to be so serious about it. Let's go, class is about to start." After hearing what I said, Wang Yang walked away expressionlessly. Me, fine, let's go to class first. After lunch at the cafeteria with Wang Yang, We planned to use the restroom before heading to the library to study for a while. As we passed by the restroom, we saw Wang Jieqi and her friend smoking nearby, while Li Lingling was crouched on the ground crying. The sleeves of her school uniform were rolled up high, revealing several cigarette burn marks on her arms. When they noticed me approaching, they sneered provocatively. "Oh, look who's here to help, her bestie." Li Lingling's face lit up with hope, then she looked at me pitifully and whimpered. "Xiao," with an innocent look on my face, I said, "Carry on, I'm just passing by." After saying that, I told Wang Yang, "Let's go, we're not staying." Then I pulled him away, bypassing the group directly. Wang Yang frowned deeply, his fists clenched tightly, seemingly furious, but he didn't say anything and just followed me. Only when we couldn't see them anymore did I let go of him and ask, "Do you think I'm being cold?" "You're not a cold-hearted person." He gradually calmed down. I found it a bit strange, then recalled how he had helped me when I was bullied in my past life, so I asked, "Then did you really want to help her just now?" He sighed helplessly and said, "Every day at school, so many people are bullied by Wang Jieqi. Do you know why she's fine?" Thinking of my past life experiences, I gritted my teeth and said, "I know, because she's Wang Delin's illegitimate daughter." Wang Delin is the boss of Delin Group. Delin Group is the largest enterprise in our county. It operates in various industries, with Delin Coal Mine being the biggest. Boss Wang Delin possesses immense wealth and powerful connections. He has influential backing from above and maintains a group of enforcers under him. In our backward small county, he's practically a local tyrant. No one dares to provoke him. That's why in my past life, when I was bullied, I found myself isolated and helpless, sinking into depression. I didn't dare tell my parents, afraid they would worry and that it might bring them trouble, but given a second chance, I really can't just do nothing. Whether for my past self or for those classmates who've been bullied all along, I ought to take some action, yet I'm just an ordinary student with no power or influence. What can I possibly do? Lost in thought, I suddenly heard Wang Yang beside me mutter, "Soon, she won't be able to act so arrogantly much longer." "Huh? What do you mean?" "Nothing, let's go. Help me with my English for a bit." Time flies incredibly fast during senior year of high school. Before I knew it, half a month had passed. During this period, Li Lingling came looking for me twice, but I ignored her both times. After that, she stopped appearing in front of me altogether. During this time, Wang Yang brought me breakfast every day, and I helped him with his English whenever I had free time. So naturally, everyone assumed we were together. Today is my turn for duty. And it's running a bit late, so Wang Yang waited for me to walk me home. Just as Wang Yang and I stepped out of school, we spotted Li Lingling standing by the roadside from afar, holding a bag in her hand. Wang Yang said, "Look, she might be waiting for you." Sure enough, upon seeing us come out, Li Lingling hurried over, glanced at Wang Yang, and then said to me, "Xiao, can you spare me some time? There's something I need to talk to you about." I wanted to refuse, but seeing her sincere expression, I agreed. I was curious to see what mischief she was up to this time, so I said to Wang Yang, "Wait for me a moment." Wang Yang responded and walked a short distance away. I plopped down on the bench beside me. "All right, speak up. What do you want?" Li Lingling pursed her lips. "Xiao, my dad came back to pick me up. I'm going to Jiangqing with him." As she spoke, she handed me the bag in her hand. "This is the bracelet you've always liked. I saved up for a long time to buy it. I'm giving it to you. Who knows how long it'll be before we see each other again." I was a bit surprised. According to the timeline from my past life, her dad shouldn't have come back at this time, but maybe she couldn't stand Wang Jieqi's bullying anymore and urged her dad to come back early. I glanced at the bag she handed me, feeling conflicted inside. "No need, you can keep it for yourself. I don't like it anymore." "Xiao, are you still mad at me? I've apologized to you over and over again. Why can't you just forgive me? I've already told you I had no choice. Are you really going to end our years of friendship over something like this? I didn't actually cause you any harm, so why won't you forgive me?" She grew more aggrieved as she spoke, bursting into tears as if I were the one who had wronged her. It really made me laugh. While it's true that in this lifetime I haven't suffered because of what she did, I remember all too clearly how she treated me in our past life. The fact that I haven't sought revenge in this life is already more than she deserves. Li Lingling, haven't you noticed how I've treated you all these years? If you had any conscience at all, you wouldn't have shifted the blame onto me in a critical moment. I don't want to say anything more about the rest. Let's just leave it at that. Lu Xiao. Do you think you're so great? All these years, you've never lived up to me, you've just kept me around like a dog. Clearly, we grew up together, but why is it that you've always had a happy family, while I've had to live like a rat in the gutter? Clearly, we studied together, yet you've always excelled academically, while I could never surpass you no matter how hard I tried. Then she glanced in Wang Yang's direction again and said fiercely, "Why is it that you get to have such a good boyfriend? Well, I just give someone I like a bottle of water and get bullied. Enough, Li Lingling, none of your suffering was caused by me. You don't dare to confront those who truly hurt you, so you come here to vent hysterically at me. How does that make sense? With that, I stood up and walked away. After a few steps, I thought better of it and added, Li Lingling, there are only a few months left until the college entrance exams. You know exactly what kind of person your father is. You'd better think carefully about whether you want to leave with him now. This was the last kindness I could offer her, who knew she'd get so angry upon hearing it. Lu Xiaoxiao, spare me your fake kindness. You just can't stand to see me doing well. My dad is taking me to Jiangqing to live a good life. He'll enroll me in the best school there, and I'll be 1,000 times better off than you. Fine, whatever makes you happy, I said, then walked away without looking back. Ignoring Li Lingling's attempts to say more behind me, when I reached Wang Yang, he handed me his water bottle. You okay? He asked. I'm fine, let's go. When it comes to Li Lingling, my feelings are mixed. Since childhood, I genuinely considered her my best friend. All those shared memories growing up flashed through my mind like scenes from a revolving lantern. I sympathize with everything she's been through. Yet I resent her cruelty toward me. Well, let's just wish each other peace from now on. Seeing me depressed, Wang Yang comforted me by saying, everyone has their own destiny, don't dwell on it too much. Snapping out of my thoughts, I asked him, why do people hurt those who care about them just because their own lives aren't going well? Come on, let me take you somewhere. Half an hour later, we arrived in front of an orchard. The garden was vast, with flowers planted around its perimeter. There were hardly any weeds nearby. It was very clean, clearly showing that the owner usually took good care of this place. Beside it stood a small house, likely used by the owner for resting after working in the garden, but now, the doors and windows of the house were broken, the interior was a mess, and all the fruit trees in the orchard had been chopped down haphazardly. What is this? This is my grandfather's garden. Every plant and tree here was carefully cultivated by him. My parents worked hard in Haicheng, so I grew up living with my grandfather. This garden holds many joyful memories of my childhood. I looked at the garden's current state and asked in confusion, then what happened here now? 2 months ago, some people came and said this piece of land had been selected by the town government, it needed to be requisitioned, and we were told to prepare to relocate. At the time, although Grandpa was reluctant, he thought there would be compensation for government land requisition. With that money, my parents could come back and start some business or something, so they wouldn't have to keep drifting around outside. But later, no money came at all. Instead, a group of people showed up with a land transfer contract in hand, which even had Grandpa's signature on it. But my grandpa never signed any land transfer contract. That was clearly forged. Then they directly cut down the fruit trees, drove my grandfather away, and during the pushing and shoving, my grandfather fell and hit his head on a rock, then he lost consciousness. When I got the notification and came back, he had already been taken to the hospital. Later, he stayed in the intensive care unit for a week but still passed away, Wang Yang said, clutching his hair in frustration as he crouched on the ground, his shoulders trembling uncontrollably. He was crying. This was the first time I had seen him so vulnerable. I crouched down and gently patted his back. After he calmed down a bit, I asked, didn't you go to demand an explanation? They tried, my parents appealed, but no lawyer dared take the case. They went to the government, only to be passed around like a hot potato. Every demand was suppressed. It wasn't until later, after asking around extensively, that we found out this wasn't a government requisition. Wang Delin had taken a fancy to the place and wanted to build himself a recreational villa. Only now do I understand where the anger in Wang Yang's eyes came from when we saw Wang Jieqi bullying Li Lingling last time. Thinking back to my past life, after Wang Yang helped me once when I was being bullied, he never came back to school. They said he transferred. It probably had something to do with all this too, so I asked him, do you plan to transfer schools now? Hearing my words, Wang Yang looked at me with some surprise. My parents are worried this might affect my college entrance exams, so they plan to have me transfer to Haicheng first, but now I don't want to go. He turned to look at me seriously and continued, Lu Xiaoxiao, I know you've been collecting evidence of Wang Jieqi bullying classmates recently. If you trust me, listen to me, don't interfere with this matter anymore, leave it to me, and I'll ensure a fair outcome, making sure those who did wrong are punished. Hearing his words, I was shocked. He had actually noticed my recent actions. At the same time, I felt deeply moved. Across 2 lifetimes, past and present, I had always carried everything alone. Now, for the first time, I felt like I wasn't fighting solo anymore. It also suddenly dawned on me how naive I had been, thinking I could forcibly seize civilian land, and the fact that something as serious as a death could be swept under the rug showed just how terrifying Wang Delin's influence was. Moreover, Wang Yang has already noticed my evidence collection. Given more time, It's inevitable that the other side will find out. When that happens, not only will I be in danger, but my parents will also be implicated. So I patted him on the shoulder, extended my hand solemnly, and said, "Classmate Wang Yang, if you trust me, let's work together. We'll carefully plan again to ensure this matter gets a fair outcome and that those who did wrong are punished." He grasped my hand and said, "Deal." In the following period, we openly acted like a sweet couple while secretly studying hard for the college entrance exams and gathering evidence behind the scenes. As time passed, the evidence in our hands became clearer and clearer. Half a month flew by in the blink of an eye. Today is Saturday, and there are no classes. In the afternoon, Wang Yang and I agreed to take a walk by the river. On the surface, it looked like a romantic date, but in reality, we were discussing our next steps. After an hour of discussion, we both agreed that the only way forward was to go beyond Yunqing and report directly to the higher authorities in Beijing. Otherwise, not only might the matter still be suppressed, but given Wang Delin's influence, our lives could even be in danger. But now we've hit a disagreement on one issue: who should go to Beijing to report it. Xiaoxiu, listen to me this time. Okay, let me go. This matter doesn't really concern you much. You don't need to take this risk. Wang Yang, listen to me. First of all, this matter is closely related to me. Secondly, judging from the current situation, Wang Delin has most likely already had someone monitoring your family's movements. If you suddenly leave here and go to Beijing, they will definitely know what you're planning, and you'll be in even greater danger. Lastly, as you said, this whole matter seems to have nothing to do with me at first glance, so they won't pay attention to me. Therefore, it would be safer for me to go, and the chances of success would be higher. But, no buts. Wang Yang, you stay here. This place is also important. Your parents' side, Haiqing, I'll need you to coordinate and plan. The tasks and dangers of staying are not light either, and I might not handle them well. Finally, Wang Yang agreed. All right, then let's proceed as planned next week, on Monday noon. I didn't understand a problem, so the teacher explained it to me for a few minutes after class. By the time I got to the school cafeteria, Wang Yang had already gotten my meal ready for me. "Xiaoxiu, over here." Yang Yang waved at me. The classmates nearby pretended to be disgusted. Blushing a little, I happily ran over and sat down next to Wang Yang, but after glancing at the dish in front of her, her smile froze. "Didn't I tell you I don't eat celery? Why did you still get it for me?" Wang Yang slapped his forehead apologetically and said, "Sorry, Xiaoxiu, I forgot. I'll definitely remember next time. Here, you can have my portion." But I was still a bit angry. "You just don't take what I say seriously." Wang Yang glanced around awkwardly and whispered, "I'll definitely remember next time. Okay, let's eat now." I picked up my chopsticks reluctantly and poked at the rice in my bowl. None of this is what I like to eat. At this moment, the classmates nearby all cast amused glances. As if watching a show, Wang Yang's face couldn't hide his embarrassment, and his temper flared up too. He slammed down his chopsticks, "Eat it or don't," and without looking back, he stormed out of the cafeteria. I stared at his retreating figure in shock. "Wang Yang, you jerk." With that, I also ran out of the cafeteria in tears. This is way too melodramatic. Yeah, Lu Xiaoxia never seemed like such a drama queen before. It's all because Wang Yang spoils her. I see him bringing her breakfast every day. The classmates' discussion drifted from behind. After school in the afternoon, many students witnessed Wang Yang and Lu Xiaoxiu arguing and pulling at each other at the school gate before parting ways unhappily. For the next few days, Wang Yang and I didn't see each other, and I felt listless during classes. The news of our breakup had spread among our classmates, especially since our relationship had been somewhat high-profile before. After school today, my mom noticed I was downcast and asked worriedly, "What's wrong, Xiaoxiu? Did someone bully you at school?" My dad also put down the book he was reading and said, "Yes, sweetheart, you must tell us if anything's bothering you." Seeing my parents' concern, I felt like crying. They love me so much. I couldn't bear to imagine how devastated they must have been after my death in my past life. My parents were startled to see my tears falling and quickly rushed over to hold me, asking, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Were you really bullied? Tell Dad who it was." I hurriedly replied, "No, Mom and Dad, don't worry. I wasn't bullied." "Then what's the matter?" my parents asked, puzzled. "Embarrassed," I said. "It's nothing. I've just been a bit tired from studying lately. Shall Dad ask your school for a few days off tomorrow so you can rest?" My parents have noticed how much I've changed recently. No longer the carefree girl who loved to play. Now studying hard every day, actually. My grades have always been decent, so even when I was playful and mischievous before, they indulged me as long as I was happy. When they saw me suddenly become so studious, they initially thought it was just the pressure of the approaching college entrance exams. Later, they grew concerned I might overwork myself and advised me to balance study with rest. Seeing how worried they looked, I playfully suggested, "Mom, Dad, how about we go on a trip? Let's relax a bit, and when we come back, I'll continue preparing for the exams. I promise to get into a top university for you. Dad gently tapped my nose and said, all right then, tomorrow your mom will go to school to ask for leave for you. I'll rearrange my work schedule, and we'll go on a trip, take our daughter out to relax. Yay, Mom, Dad, I love you. You're the best, I exclaimed joyfully, jumping up with excitement. Mom asked, so, sweetheart, where would you like to go? Would you like to see the vast ocean? Let's go to Beijing? I want to watch the flag-raising ceremony and then visit Tsinghua University. Oh, my daughter aims for Tsinghua. Dad laughed heartily. Finally, Mom, Dad, and I arrived in the bustling capital city, planning to enjoy a carefree week of sightseeing here. As I suspected, Wang Delin indeed had people secretly monitoring Wang Yang's family, although I seemed insignificant because of my connection with Wang Yang. They didn't let their guard down around me even after the breakup incident at school. On the very day we landed, I faintly sensed someone watching us, and that feeling persisted over the next 2 days, but I didn't pay attention to it, pretending not to know, and had a great time with my parents. We visited many famous scenic spots, tasted various local delicacies, and enjoyed ourselves every day. We went to visit the magnificent Huaping University and witnessed the inspiring flag-raising ceremony. Even now, I haven't fully recovered from the repeated shocks. It also strengthened my determination to work harder and face everything. Happy times always fly by, and before I knew it, today was already the 6th day in Beijing. We're going back tomorrow afternoon, but I still haven't done what I needed to do. Actually, in the past 2 days, that feeling of being watched has disappeared, but since this concerns the safety of both me and my parents, I still can't let my guard down. I must observe more and wait for the right opportunity. Xiaoxiao, what are you thinking about? You must be tired from today's activities. Here, eat more. This is the Peking duck you've been dreaming about. As she spoke, Mom handed me the already wrapped duck roll. Thank you, Mom. You should eat too. I'll help myself, Dad said with a smile. So, sweetheart, did you have fun? I had a great time. Thank you, Dad. You've worked hard. Here, have some roast duck. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Being happy helps you relax. Don't think about anything else when you go back. Just focus on preparing for the college entrance exam, and don't stress too much. Your mom and I just want you to be happy. I know, Mom and Dad are the best. Hurry up and eat. After we finish, let's go back and pack our things. Get some rest early. Tomorrow morning we'll see if there's any local specialty or souvenir we want to buy. Get some and then head back. On Monday, after taking a week off, I returned to school for classes. My classmates all came over to ask me, Xiaoxiao, where have you been these past few days? Why haven't you been coming to class? The teacher only said you took leave for personal reasons. Are you okay? Thank you all for your concern. I'm fine. Just feeling a bit overwhelmed with schoolwork and not in great spirits, so I took some time off to rest. Your parents are so nice to let you take leave at this time. Mine would want me studying every single moment. Yeah, I'm really envious of you. Yes, my parents are truly wonderful, but faced with my classmates' admiration, I just smiled. In the following days, I studied diligently, striving to catch up on the lessons I'd missed. Yang Yang and I still hadn't spoken, but through coded signals, we both knew our respective tasks were completed. If nothing unexpected happened, there would soon be a result, but a week passed without any movement, and I began to grow anxious. Just as we were about to lose our patience, Wang Jiechi didn't come to school for 2 consecutive days, and the news we had been waiting for finally arrived. The higher-level inspection team suddenly came to our county and launched a thorough investigation into Delin Group with lightning speed. Several school staff members were also present that day, spending the entire morning in the academic affairs office. At noon, a group emerged from the office, several staff members, the principal, a few teachers, along with Wang Jiechi and Wang Yang, heading toward the police car parked outside the school. Curious students rushed to watch, but teachers kept shooing them away, forcing them to observe from a distance while whispering among themselves. As Wang Yang passed by, he spotted me in the crowd and subtly gave me a reassuring glance. I know they might have gone to the inspection team for questioning. Meanwhile, a media outlet in Haishur exposed that Delin Group, a well-known enterprise in Yun County, is involved in organized crime across multiple industries. Their coal mine collapsed, injuring several workers who received no compensation, and their families were maliciously retaliated against and threatened. The group also forcibly seized land from residents, resulting in deaths. The boss, Wang Delin, not only kept multiple mistresses but also had several illegitimate children who bullied classmates at their respective schools, causing injuries to many students. The Wang family similarly used threats and intimidation to force the victims' families into submission. Several officials in Yun County accepted bribes and acted as protective umbrellas for Delin Group, accompanied by numerous real-name accusations from victims and their families, including those from Wang Yang's family. The publication of this report instantly caused a nationwide sensation. That's right, back then, We compiled the collected evidence into several copies. I took one copy to the capital city to submit directly to the higher-level inspection team, gave another to Wang Yang, whose parents contacted friends in Haishur to have it published by reliable media outlets. The copy I carried, I finally found the right opportunity to mail it out on the morning of our return day, taking advantage of a shopping trip. Although I had been worried about potential mishaps, even if we all failed, there were still several copies in the hands of different victims. I believed they would eventually find a chance to expose the truth. In the following days, various media outlets reported the once arrogant Delin group was shut down, and Wang Delin along with several of his close associates were sentenced to prison for multiple crimes including illegal operations, bribery of officials, oppression of civilians, forced demolitions and seizures, and organizing criminal gangs. Numerous officials in Yin County were brought down one after another for accepting bribes and acting as protective umbrellas for criminal organizations. It's finally over. The weight that's been pressing on my heart has lifted, and it feels like I've given closure to my past self. A new week began, and Wang Yang returned to class. While studying, classmates were still discussing the incident. Only Wang Yang and I felt we could finally focus wholeheartedly on preparing for the college entrance exams. With just 1 month left until the exams, every day is now tense yet fulfilling. Everyone is racing against time, and I'm also reviewing knowledge points minute by minute, striving to deliver a satisfactory answer sheet for my present self too. The pen in my hand finally stopped on the day the exams ended. Xiaoxiao, over here, after the last exam, as soon as I stepped out of the examination hall, I saw my parents waving at me with a bouquet of flowers. I quickly ran over. Mom, Dad. Have you been waiting long? Take your time, sweetheart. How do you think you did? I glanced at my dad sheepishly. Dad, I'm not sure about the specifics, but I think it went okay. If my daughter says so, then it must be true. You must be hungry. Let's go eat. My parents and I squeezed our way through the crowd as we walked. Soon the results came out, matching our earlier estimates pretty closely. I scored 642, and Wang Yang got 637. Then we received the admission letters from Tsinghua University as we wished. This made my parents overjoyed, and they insisted on throwing me a celebration banquet for getting into college. At the college celebration banquet, while my parents and I were taking turns toasting relatives and friends, I suddenly overheard a few aunts chatting about gossip. Xiaoxiao is really something. She got into Tsinghua University. Her parents are going to have it made from now on. Yeah. And look at Li Lingling, she's the same age as Xiaoxiao, but old Li already married her off and didn't even let her finish school. Exactly, who knows what old Li was thinking. I heard the man is almost as old as him. What a waste of such a good girl. One of the aunties looked at me and said, Xiaoxiao, didn't you and Li Lingling grow up close? Why didn't you try to talk her out of it? I smiled helplessly and replied, Auntie, I did try. At the time, Lingling said Uncle Li was taking her to Jiangqing for a better life. I thought it was true, so I didn't know what else to say. Well, I guess it's just her bad luck, ending up with a father like that. Come on, let's not dwell on this. Everyone, eat and drink up. Thank you all for coming to help today. My mom, afraid that hearing these things would upset me, quickly urged the aunties to eat. After passing by, she whispered to me, We didn't tell you because we were afraid it would make you sad, especially since you and Lingling were so close before. It's okay, Mom, everyone has their own destiny. We can only do our best and can't interfere too much with others' karma. Yes, in my past life, it was probably because I interfered with her karma that I ended up so miserable. On the first day of school, Wang Yang and I agreed to go register together. On the way, he suddenly asked me, Xiaoxiao, what are your plans next? I replied somewhat puzzled, what plans? Of course, it's to study hard and improve every day. No, I mean, what is it? Then, as if mustering all his courage, he took out a box from his pocket and handed it to me with both hands. Inside was an exquisite necklace. He said solemnly, Lu Xiaoxiao, I like you, that is, could you really be my girlfriend from now on? I know it might not be the best time